Last week, we took a moment to take a look at the common elements of the pessimist view of the world, so that we can always be on the lookout for the signs of his flawed logic, and we won't fall for it. Armageddon theories about stock prices almost never come from inside the private economy itself, but the really epic disaster scenarios of the pessimists almost always come from perceived crisis in governments, natural disasters, geopolitical violence, or something like that. They're what we call exogenous variables, meaning they are externally caused, rather than resulting from conditions within the actual economy and the companies in it. The hallmark of the pessimist is that he concludes that one or more of these exogenous variables are capable of killing the economy, despite the fact that the entirety of history proves that they are not. Because history is so squarely not on his side, he then has to further default to these same devilish 4 words. This time is different. Typically, the way he expects these variables to bring forth apocalypse in the world is based on another fallacy, which I call the extrapolation fantasy. These theories of doom and gloom are almost always based on the extrapolation of some undesirable trend all the way to the horizon, where it will there careen off the edge of the world and into the space. For example, one of the current Armageddon theories is that the United States government debt is piling up way too quickly, and that there's going to come a point when the rest of the world will stop lending us money. The mighty dollar will lose its status as the world's reserve currency, and the global economy will result in chaos. Of course, it's reasonable to assume that if we do keep accumulating debt at this rate, we will at some point go off the edge. Of course, the key word in that sentence is if. Nobody can really argue with that sentence, but the larger likelihood is that a rational democracy, faced with a crisis like that, will finally accept the painful choices we need to make to slow down our debt. We will almost certainly not mindlessly steer our ship of state off the edge of the world. Let me give you another example. Back in 1894 in London, the Times newspaper published an article that projected the growth in horse-drawn carriage traffic that would result from population growth and the resulting excess of horse manure in the streets. The article predicted that if current trends were to continue, the streets of London would be buried under 9 feet of manure. This was taken seriously. While this analysis was logically spot on, current trends did not, in fact, continue. Instead, the automobile was invented, and horse and buggy travel became obsolete, and London streets were once again manure-free.